Alright guys, I just finished editing the previous video. Like I said in the end of that, I'm on my way back to Justin's. We got everything taken apart, so I'm gonna head back there and start putting stuff back together. So game plan is I want to get the clutch put back in, torque down, all that stuff, align it, you know, whatever has to be done. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to start the oil pan. I think I mentioned it in the last video that we were going to do that. I think I might just save it for a little couple minute long separate video. But yeah, clutch is going back on, and then I'm going to try and get the tranny up by myself. I highly doubt that I'll be able to get it up without anyone's help. So I'm not sure what I'll do after that. Maybe I'll end up doing the oil pan gasket just for something to do until Justin gets out of work. So yeah, I guess it's not much of a game plan, but it's all I got. So I guess I'll see you guys when I get there. Alright guys, so I'm going to quickly go over everything we did last night. As you can see, the transmission is completely out. There it is on the ground. This is the throw bearing that I was talking about. It connects to the clutch fork, and this, you can kind of see it, this is the pin that I was talking about. So basically that bends around the fork and just kind of holds them together. Same thing on the bottom. I do have to lube this shaft yet. And here is that's the old pressure plate. This is a new pressure plate. I have to clean this off before we get it all mounted. And this is the old clutch. So this side's pretty beat up, and this side is completely smooth, which is not good at all. This is the new one. As you can see, it's got grooves in it, and it looks healthy and new and shiny. So this, and then this little plastic ring goes inside the transmission. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but one came out of it, so we're gonna put the new one back in. The clutch kit also came with some lubricant, so that's what we're gonna put on that shaft over there. Then we have clutch alignment tools. I'm not sure if they're so this one on the right is longer, so I'm assuming only one of them's gonna work. I guess we'll figure it out once we start putting that on. Here's the old throw-out bearing. So it doesn't look super worn, but it's a little bit crusty. So yeah, I think I'm gonna clean these off with some brake clean. So I'm just gonna spray the surface of the pressure plate, spray the surface of the flywheel, and probably wipe them down, and then spray them again. And then this should be ready to get aligned. So basically what I'll do, I'll also show you guys when I'm doing it, but I'm gonna hold that up to the flywheel, and then you grab your alignment tools and you find out which one fits. That one fits. I'm gonna see if this one also fits. Alright, so that one does not fit. So you're gonna grab your alignment tool, and then this should line up perfectly with the flywheel. So your clutch is straight when you put it on, and then we'll torque the pressure plate down, and then I believe the next step is getting that big bitch back up there by myself, which will not happen. So might end up doing the pan gasket. We noticed when we crawled under there for the first time that it was pretty wet around all the bolt holes and whatnot. So and Justin knows that it has a slow leak from somewhere, so we're just gonna assume that that's it, and go ahead and replace the oil pan gasket. So yeah, I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up. I'll I'll probably record that process and then record the clutch alignment and installing everything, torquing it down, and then I guess I wait until I have someone show up or Justin gets back that can help me get that up there. Alright guys, so the pressure plate is all cleaned up and get a huge puddle of brake clean and clutch dust on the ground, but the flywheel is freshly cleaned. There aren't any like big grooves or anything in that, so we didn't even bother getting it resurfaced or anything. As far as I can tell, it should be fine. So next I'm gonna insert that little black plastic piece that goes right in the center of the flywheel, and then I'm gonna align the clutch and put the pressure plate on. So when putting this back in, you'll notice that this top part has kind of a lip to it, and then this bottom side is just a flat cut. The way we took it out was the rounded side went inward, so the flat side was facing out. Okay, so next after that is going to be the clutch itself. So you're going to want to put this in with the this extruding part. You're going to want that facing outwards, so that's going to be on the pressure plate side. This flat side is going to be the flywheel side. So it's time to put on the pressure plate. So basically how this is going to go is you can see on the flywheel there's some pins all around it, like this one, that one, and there's probably one over there. You have to line those up with the holes on the pressure plate. I'm not sure which ones they are. I'd assume it's one of these two, and then one of these two. So you do that, and then you can put in all of your pressure plate bolts. And I do have the torque spec for those. I think they're like 3 point. I have it on the back of my phone there. Pressure plate is 16 foot-pounds, so 16 foot-pounds on all 6 of those bolts, and then that should be good. Alright guys, so the clutch is in there. Well, it's not in there, but it's resting on those 3 pins, and the clutch is aligned. Alignment tool's in there. It should be straight. Doesn't move anywhere. I mean, it's got a little bit of play, but that's totally normal. So I'm gonna put in those 6 pressure plate bolts, and then after that we'll get to the next step. Okay, so I have that put back in. There's really nothing else new that we have to do yet. I mean, the tranny's got to go back up, and the axles have to go back in. So I think I'll record that, but as far as the rest of it goes, I think I might just record a little bit of us putting it back together, because it's basically just reversing all the steps. Maybe I'll do that and time-lapse it. Otherwise, we'll probably end up just getting the tranny back in, putting the axles in, and then just calling the video done at that, because there's not much else that's going to be going on that you guys shouldn't already know how to do at that point. So yeah, I'm going to wait for a couple of my buddies to show up, or for Justin to get back, whoever gets here first, and then we're going to try to get that back in the car. Yeah, I think that's about it. So we actually had a pretty successful night tonight. We got the pressure plate and the clutch and all that stuff put back into the car, and two of my buddies showed up, and Justin got home right as they got there, so we had 4 people to help put the transmission up. So we got that taken care of. Took a little bit, probably just about as long as it took take out. It's a lot of lifting and wiggling and just tossing it around to get it to fit around stuff, but we got that in. It's all bolted up and torqued down. Me and Justin got a majority of the rest of the stuff done. We got the shifter cables back in. We got all the wires hooked back up, minus the ECU stuff. Grounds are hooked back up. The clutch line is all mounted again. I think besides that stuff, we have to get one more motor mount on, which is the front one. But before we can do that, we have to replace the clutch slave cylinder. The little plunger popped off of it, and it's a bitch to get back on, and I'm not trying to deal with that. We're gonna go ahead and replace that. So I guess that's our setback for this episode. There's always something every day that sets us back. Today was a really good day, so something has to go wrong eventually. So yeah, like I said, we have a majority of it done. All that's left, I believe, is that front motor mount. We have to tighten the rear motor mount, the one that you have to use the 20 inches of extension for. And besides that, ECU's got to go back in, battery tray, battery, the rest of the wiring stuff, air intake, and then that's got to be all wired up and plumbed up. Besides that, I want to say brake calipers go back on, rotors, axles have to go back in, and then we can reconnect all the suspension. This write-up that we're following said that we have to take the axles out of the hub, so we went ahead and took the axle nuts off. Well, we couldn't get the axles out of the hub, so we just decided we'll leave them in there and see if we can get the whole thing done, which we did. But now we have to replace the axle nuts, which is going to be a pain in the ass, because we don't have a torque wrench with a big enough bit on the end to torque those axle nuts down. So I'm not sure what we're going to do about that. Maybe see if we can rent a torque wrench from a parts store or something. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I guess we will get to that when we get to it. Hopefully we do have a new slave, and hopefully we can find a way to torque down those axle nuts, but yeah, it's pretty much all back together. I think we did really good on the rebuild side of it. What took us a few days to tear it down, I think we got what I'm going to call 2 days worth of work done. couple of hours today, so I imagine next video, with what little amount of stuff we have left to do, we should have everything back together and it should be good to go. So Justin's plan with it is selling it after fixing the clutch, so I don't think we'll see any more videos with it. But he's got his 350Z that he's got plans for, and I have my 86 Celica that we're going to be doing brake lines on, and my 240, which needs everything because it's a 240. So yeah, I think on that note, I'm going to end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.